So yesterday we got some more clarity on who's potentially going to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers week 2 at the Denver Broncos, thanks to Mike Tomlin's weekly press conference. Does it every Tuesday. Obviously, everyone wants to know about the quarterback position, particularly given it being the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're a high-profile franchise. National media's talking about it. They're wondering who should be the guy. Fields, Wilson, they've been talking about it all offseason. So with Fields getting the start, the guy who was declared the backup heading into the regular season, to get the start week 1, play good while Russ was injured, surely that conversation continues. So Tomlin, he cleared some things up for us. Here's what he had to say. As I said today, we're preparing as if Justin is going to be our quarterback. I think that's the appropriate way to do it. Speculation is a waste of time. Russell's hurt. He's not available to us. So as you guys know, as a general practice, I focus my energy on those that are available and their readiness. I love it. I wasn't expecting him to say it that way, but I also wasn't expecting Russ to still be hurt to the degree that he is. Although, should I expect it because of how he was with the calf injury early in training camp? Russ said it himself that if I had to go, if this was a game day, the first time that he encountered this little calf injury, this calf tweak, right at the beginning of training camp, he said, listen, if it was a Sunday, if it was a game day, I'd be good to go. But what happened with him? Like he ended up not practicing in a full capacity for almost like a good 3 weeks. So even if Russ says he's healthy or he's getting better or anything like that, just based off how we handled him and his calf injury early training camp, maybe I shouldn't be surprised that we're slow playing this a little bit. And Tomlin is saying Russ is still not healthy. He's still not going to be able to do the full range of things that he needs to do to be a starting quarterback for this team. But I do like how he handled this. He nipped it in the bud and just said, listen, right now we're operating as Justin Fields as our starting quarterback. He's healthy. Russell Wilson is not. And I'm pumped about it. I don't know what the percentage is for the fan base on who they want to be starting for week 2 or who they think deserves to start if both players were even healthy. But I think Justin Fields earned himself another game with how he played against the Falcons on the road. That was a tough game. We were underdogs. We were what, 3.5 point underdogs on the road. Fields gets the call day of the game. Game time decision for Russell Wilson. We find out he can't go. Fields, who's supposed to be the backup, gets put out there. Short notice. The scheme was set up for Russ. And Fields played like he did. Fields played winning football. Does it need to be 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every time a quarterback steps out on the field for Steeler fans? Does it have to be that? Can't we actually watch the game and see? Couldn't we watch the game on Sunday and see there's a good framework here? Fields is playing good. Does it have to be right in front of us in a box score, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns? Like, do people actually watch these games and understand the flow of it, when to pick your spots? Or do they just watch the box score? And if you look at Justin Fields' box score, it wasn't bad. What, $150 passing, 50 on the ground? Like, it was over 200 all-purpose yards. Why aren't we hearing the same concerns that a good portion of Steeler fans are putting on Justin Fields? Why aren't we hearing those same concerns about a Justin Herbert, who I think threw for almost the same amount of passing yards, if not less? Trevor Lawrence, same thing. Definitely had less all-purpose yards than Justin Fields and got the loss. Justin Herbert, pretty much similar stat line as Justin Fields. Like I said, maybe I think less all-purpose yards, less production overall, but got a win with the Chargers. Ugly type of game. I'm actually going to talk about Harbaugh and like the Chargers scheme and how they do things compared to the Steelers a little bit later on in today's stream. Kyler Murray, I think he only threw for a buck 70. Or no, I'm sorry, 162. Joe Burrow, 164. Geno Smith, 171. I think Geno had a little bit on the ground too. He had that 30-yard touchdown out of nowhere. But very similar stat lines to what Justin Fields did. Those are big name quarterbacks. And Justin Fields was as impressive, if not more impressive. And when you compare him to some of these guys, he actually got the win where about half of them got a loss. Why aren't we hearing the same concerns and like talking about how their offenses, these quarterbacks' offenses and how they operate isn't going to be good enough? I get it. They're more proven, but I just feel like people are miserable just to be miserable sometimes. They just want to focus on negative because I feel like what Fields did week 1 was good enough for us to win games this year. And the silver lining to all that is it's only week 1. We don't think he can get better as the season goes on. If he's able to maintain the starting job, we don't think he can develop. Weren't we talking about the talent that Justin Fields has and what he brings to the table, the arm talent and just the different dynamics that he could help this offense with? Weren't we talking about that? But the problem was we didn't know if he'd be able to raise his floor with all that talent because we've seen Justin Fields' career thus far. It's been a roller coaster. But to me, what he did on the road against the Falcons, he showed me he can raise that floor. Just take care of the ball. Don't turn it over. Pick your spots. Make your splash plays in certain moments when we need it. That's exactly what he did. With how the defense was playing, we didn't need to punch it into the red zone. I would have loved to. I would have loved to get 6 a few more times than what we did. So obviously it was a goose egg. But we were in scoring position for 6 times and converted those 6 times into points. That's not saying nothing. Defense was stepping up. Now, if the defense wasn't, then it's a different game. Then you got to play a different game. You got to go more into shootout mode. But we didn't need to do that against the Falcons. And if the Steelers defense continues to play like they are, we might not have to be in many shootouts. And this is the type of stuff, this will be the prerequisite for Fields going into these games. Do at least this. Do at least what you did week 1. You're going to keep us in games. But as you get more comfortable, you build more chemistry with these receivers. We get a Roman Wilson in there. Arthur Smith gets more comfortable with you and figuring out what formations and what play calls fit you best. Man, I would assume we do start punching some of these drives in for 6. Right? I say it all the time. Well, I say it all the time because you guys say it. This is my rebuttal to what a lot of people say. And it was particularly whenever I was talking about how Kenny Pickett wins games. And you guys would say, but wins on a quarterback stat. Okay, wins on a quarterback stat. But winning is the most important stat. It's the most important thing for a quarterback to do. And Justin Fields is 1-0. And we're 1-0 partly because of how he played. He contributed to that win. It's not like we won in spite of Justin Fields. So I think he's earned a shot at another game. And I'd argue, and obviously he's earned a shot at another game because if what Tomlin's saying here is true, Russell's not healthy, then we have to go with Justin Fields, just like we had to go with Justin Fields and all those QB1 reps at the beginning of training camp, just like we had to go with Justin Fields in week 1. So it's really not even a debate. But I'd argue even with Russ being healthy, Fields has earned a shot at least for another game. I don't think Tomlin would do that to Russ, but with Russ being hurt, still, no matter what, we're going to see another game of Fields here. And if Fields continues to play how he was playing in week 1 and improves upon that and gets that continuity going with the offense, we win a game, and maybe we see him week 3. We're sitting at 3-0. Man, maybe we're sticking with Justin Fields just based off his play, and it has nothing to do with whether or not Russ is healthy. Good problem to have. Potentially good problem to have. But Fields got to keep it up. Now, let's segue, even though it's not really segueing, it has to do exactly what we were just talking about. I just wanted to bring up this quote from Big Ben, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying here, and his just takeaways from what Fields did against the Falcons. He says, you go ask a guy to win a game for you. You ask a guy not to lose the game and just win the game. And he did that. He got us into field goal range when he needed to do that. He made plays at the end of the half. Yeah, that throw to Pickens downfield when he needed. Like that was a hell of a pass. Hell of a pass. I don't think too many quarterbacks in the league can pull that one off. I don't think Russ could pull that one off. He threw it on a line. He goes on, he extended plays with his legs when he needed to. I thought, oh, no, he did enough to win that game, and he did a great job. I agree.